Family, welcome back to the podcast In the Black of My Mind. Of course, I'm your host, Al Thomas. I need you all to do me a favor and go down to the bottom of the page and click subscribe and share and tell everybody about the podcast. How many bodies? That's right, everybody's. Now, our guest is the very essence of a Renaissance man. He's a 10th degree black sash grandmaster, a world-class martial artist, and kickboxing champion. An acclaimed jazz pianist who's performed numerous times at Carnegie Hall. He's an actor with a number of film and television credits, an author, a humanitarian who was knighted for his contributions to humanitarian causes. Welcome to the podcast, Sir Vincent Raymond Percival Lyn, also known as Vincent Lyn.
Nice to see you, Al.
Good. It's good to see you, man. So good to see you. I also didn't realize that you had a Chinese name as well.
Oh, well, of course, my mother being English, my father being Chinese, so of course I am vetted with a Chinese name.
And please say it for me, please.
Ling Yongshen, which means it means to always win. I'm not sure if that's actually
true, but it appears to me that's what you've been doing, man. For real.
Thank you.
It meant, I got my name means something too. It means tall warrior with a good jump shot. No, I'm just kidding, man.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. As I said, I was racking my brain, man, because I couldn't figure out how long it had been since I saw you, man. It's incredible, man. It's like that we allowed just so much time to go before we had the opportunity to talk to each other again.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. And for the viewing audience, I first met Vincent when I played when we both played in an R&B band called Suite, Suite, with Robbie Jenkins and Tanya G.
That's right. My goodness.
Yeah. So we're going back.
Yeah, we recorded at Carriage House Studio.
Yes.
My God. Yeah. I actually think we were like the first musicians to ever record, when I think he started off with this like 8 or 16 track.
Right. Yeah, we were one of the first, definitely.
One of the first.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it was one of my first times being in the studio too. So, and I was in panic mode, man. I didn't say anything to anybody. I'm gonna stand up there and look cool, but I was like, yo, I've not done this much.
Yeah, well, I think we can all agree on that one.
Well, I don't know, man. You sounded great. Let's put it that way.
No, please.
Yeah.
I sound better today, but there you go.
Well, you've been to Carnegie Hall, so I would like to think that you.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not better today, then something's definitely wrong.
Exactly. Now you're currently in Lisbon.
In Portugal, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I read somewhere that you left the United States. Well, naturally you would have to be in Portugal, but
right, exactly.
But left like I
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's goodness. After President Trump, I don't even want to call him president, but he is.
I know.
Yeah, when he got the second term, it was kind of like I made a promise to myself, along with other close colleagues, friends, UN colleagues, that I just couldn't reside in the US while this whole shameful debacle is going on as it is. So I decided, I've been visiting Portugal for nearly 20 years. I have a lot of good friends here. So I thought, why not, give it a try. One thing is visiting a country, and one thing is living in a country.
Right.
It's always very different. But, I've lived all over the world. So Portugal's a beautiful country, good quality of life, great healthcare system, great food, climate. So yeah, it's It's been kind of 18 months off and on. I've been kind of traveling between here and New York, of course, where I'll be going back on this coming Wednesday because I need to see my father, see how he's doing. So between Lisbon, New York, and London, and then, of course, all the other many countries that I have to visit because of my foundation. And yeah, it's been good to me, but I'm kind of in a you've caught me in a place where I'm kind of at a point where maybe I need to find another place.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
Right. Right. Right.
We'll see.
Um, I'm a stickler for the backstory. I feel like it gives everybody a better picture
Mm,
of an individual if you can see where they've been and how they got to where they are.
mm.
So let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
You were born in Yemen,
Oh, well, this is yeah.
and
My father was drafted into the Her Majesty's the Royal Air Force. So he got sent. It's interesting because my father being Chinese, he met my mother in England, and they had conscription at that time in Great Britain. So he got drafted. He chose the Air Force. His background, he had an engineering background. So, but it was interesting because there were two other places where he was on the list to go to, which at that time were still colonies of Great Britain, which was Singapore and Hong Kong.
Mhm.
So you would have thought a Chinese man would have gotten sent to Singapore or Hong Kong, and unfortunately he did not, and he got sent to southern Yemen, which was a protectorate of the British Empire. And so yeah, that's where I was born, and that's where it began.
Mm. So you moved on to all these different countries: Ethiopia, Europe,
Mm-hmm.
Khartoum, Algeria,
Yeah,
Netherlands,
yeah.
and then
And formative years were growing up in England,
mhm,
and then during the early 70s, of course, England was going through a terrible economic downturn, and there was a strike every other week.
mm,
And being a man of color, he thought that at the time, and he was right, that America had advantages. So decided to emigrate to the United States, and his sister was living in Stamford, Connecticut, and
mm, mm.
so he decided that's where we would go, close to family, and of course that's how we met. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
gotcha, gotcha. So you finished up what, high school
yeah.
in
I did 3 years of high school at West Hill,
West Hill. Hmm.
and then I got accepted to Boston Conservatory of Music as a piano and composition major.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. I was just looking again going. I missed out on so much of the things that you did, man. I was like, wow, where was I? I should have been there.
You should
I
have been
didn't
there.
know, man.
Oh, well, that's okay.
No, I'm saying because I would have, I want to be there to support. I want to be,
Mm,
that's my boy. Y'all don't
right.
understand, you know. Um, but I see that you've become very successful in three different areas. First of which is music. How did
Mm.
you break into music?
Well,
Or
it,
you know what? Before you answer that,
yeah.
let me back up.
Okay.
There's three areas that I was talking about were music, martial arts, and
Hmm.
film. Which one came first?
In terms of success, if one wants to label it that, it wasn't music at all. It was film.
Film.
Yeah.
Okay.
The practice of martial arts led me to going to Hong Kong,
Hmm.
and what is considered today is what they call the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. So between the mid '80s, which was when my dear friend Cynthia Rothrock, she went there in '85. I went there in '88, though the first time I was in Hong Kong was in 1983, but I started film in 1988, and that golden age lasted all the way up until uh, 97, which is when Hong Kong went back to China, because it was a British colony at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So during that, decade, some of the most influential and internationally famous films came out of Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
And many stars came out, directors like Ringo Lam, John Woo, Yuen Wo Ping, and stars like, of course, Jet Li, Michelle Yeoh, and of course Jackie Chan. And they were already, famous in Asia, but it's that period that brought them to kind of international fame. And then, of course, the rest is history. But my success started in film.
Okay. Now, how did you break in? I mean, you just like took the plane over, like I'm here.
Well, kind of, but no, pretty much. It's just that it happened. I was doing some kind of modeling at the time, nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
And the photographer, who was a Chinese, well-known Chinese photographer from New York City, he basically one day said, "Hey, have you ever thought of going to Hong Kong? They're making all these films. They're starting to use a few more Westerners. You have great martial arts background." And so he put me in touch with a number of film companies. So it was on me. I had to take the flight out,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing was written in stone. I didn't have any expectation. And one out of the 4 film companies were in the middle of in pre-production of a film. And of course, it was directed by none other than Yuen Wo Ping, who did, he's pretty much action directed some of the most famous films, not only in Asia, but in Hollywood as well. Things like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and the Kill Bill sequels, the Matrix trilogy, and so many others, Charlie's Angels. So, yeah, so to be directed by this kind of icon in my first film was quite surreal. And it went on to being a huge hit in Hong Kong and in Asia. So it kind of cemented the forward movement of my film career in Hong Kong. And so from that film led me to in Hong Kong doing 19 others, and then that brought me to co-starring alongside Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking through again, trying to do my research.
Okay.
And so some of the sources had you listed as doing 27 films.
Yeah, it's actually a few more than that, but it's around 30. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I always say 30. It could be one lower, could be one higher. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's another place that has you listed at doing 125 films. I was like,
well, that is not correct. It's around 30. I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't know where you got that information from, but that's a new one on me. But I tell you, I learn something every day, Al.
It was on one of those IDMB sites.
IMDb. Well, IMDb is actually pretty good.
That's what I thought.
But it's I got to check that. But it should be around 30. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So then things start happening with the film.
Mm-hmm.
You in the meantime you're still training. You're fighting and
yeah. Well, because of most of 90% of the films that I did in Hong Kong were all action based.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no choice but to train and keep the martial arts up. But it was because of that I was able to I got signed with the Elite Modeling Agency. So I was signed with them for 5 years.
Hi, I'm Robbie Jenkins, and you're watching the In the Black of My Mind podcast with Al Thomas.
I was very fortunate. Maybe luck had something to do with it, but I was able to kind of take advantage of um, and utilize all the talents that I had trained with. So I also got signed with Polygram Records, and that's really when music started for me also. But it was kind of because of film. It started in film. I was able to get signed with Elite, and then I got signed with Polygram Records, and I started working with a very famous, probably the most famous Hong Kong lyricist. His name is Pun Wai Yun, and he basically wrote all the hit songs for all the like hit Hong Kong pop stars.
Mm.
And so I started working with him. As he's a lyricist, I was writing music, and yeah, it was a very surreal decade of my life, but it kind of led me to doing, in some way, kind of veered me through the path to what I'm doing today.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Um, how was to work with Jackie Chan?
Uh, it was surreal, of course. It was um, a kind of a dream come true.
Mm.
Um, and what is, I guess, wonderful and great is that we stayed friends, even though not seeing each other for periods of time, and then seeing each other or having contact again
Hmm.
for, well, it's been 3 decades. So
Mm. Mm.
yeah, it's an amazing experience, and it's, one of those types of things, because it became such an iconic film even today. It was showcased. Oh my goodness, I was in Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival just what, year and a half ago, where it was showcased there in front of like a sold out crowd on
Wow.
this beach, 2,000 chairs. I mean, it was in this 4K restoration of the film.
Hmm.
And I was in London just a few months ago when it was again showcased in this new 4K restoration at a very kind of shishi London Film Festival.
Hmm.
So it's quite, who would have thought, I would never have thought some 3 decades ago that the film um, would be showcased at Cannes, for example, and then it's still uh, it was restored. Then they're still talking about it. So long after I'm dead,
Yeah.
these things will be out there for other generations to come, which is
Right.
really quite special. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no doubt. It'll be
mm.
part of your legacy,
Yeah, yeah.
no doubt. Now, with the respect to the music,
Mm.
you said you were with Polygram, and
Mhm.
how many projects did you put out with them?
I wrote not many. It
Uh,
was a kind of a very not that the industry has changed, and you well know. I was
oh,
kind of
yes.
taken advantage of by the machine, um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and some of the things I wrote I found were used, but there's not much I could do about it. So I got taken advantage of in that way.
Mm.
But there was some really couple of really big hit like gold record songs that I wrote for some of the local pop stars there.
Wow.
And then after, when I came back to the US, and of course, I opened up a couple of martial arts schools and a health center and stuff.
Hmm.
I kind of got back into the passion of music, and started really practicing a lot. And kind of, because I had moved into New York City, musicians everywhere.
Right. Right.
And yeah, I started performing and playing with different instruments and different instrumentation, trios, quartet, quintet, sextet, this type of,
Hmm.
and also where I found my own passion of the love of Brazilian music, bossa nova, and stuff. So
Oh, okay.
I've performed it. The first concert I did that kind of paved that way was at Steinway Hall,
Hmm.
and which at that time was located right across the street from Carnegie Hall. And
Okay.
Steinway Hall is very iconic too because um, it it was a place where like masters like Rubinstein and Horowitz and
Hmm.
Heifetz and even contemporaries like Billy Joel and Elton John had played at,
Oh,
So
wow. Hmm.
yeah, so yeah, 2011 was the first concert I gave at Carnegie Hall, and it was amazing to me because here I was kind of nobody, and I'm playing at Carnegie Hall, and it sold out in 3 weeks. So
Wow.
it was kind
Wow.
of it was that was kind of surreal too. And
Mm, mm.
within no time, I remember getting we would I was driving with my parents to the after party, and I got a call, picked up a call, and it was the executive director from Carnegie Hall, and they said, we'd love you to come back. How would you feel about coming back next year? And of course, my mom's sitting in the passenger seat, and she's the reason I am a pianist today.
Right.
She looked at me like, why was I even hesitating to even say yes? So of course, on my mom's kind of pushing, I of course I said yeah, and so yeah, I've performed there five five times. The
Oh,
last
wow.
was December of 22 when I gave a concert with a number of incredible musicians, Ukrainian musicians, because it was a benefit to the children of Ukraine. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, it's interesting because you were saying how how the record company had jerked you. I was like,
Oh yeah. Whew.
I just had a flashback when you said it because
Oh dear.
I was signed to a little label outside of Philly,
Mm,
and long story short, because I don't want to give them, I don't even
right.
want to say their names,
Of
but
course.
but long story short, I ended up having to go to court to get out of the
Mm,
deal.
mm, mm, mm.
So, you
Sure.
all
Yeah.
these years you striving and trying to, to get on,
Mm,
and then you get a little piece, and then it's like, nah, this ain't it.
yeah. And it was unfortunate because at the time I was um, I would say people in entertainment in Hong Kong at that time didn't have representation. I went there alone. Every decision I made, every contract that I signed with all the films was just on me. It wasn't like someone looking over my shoulder, watching my back, saying, maybe you should not sign there. Maybe you shouldn't agree with that." And so, and it worked well. But of course, there are some, there were some times, some moments that I certainly, got taken advantage of. But it's, I look
Mhm.
back on it like it was a lesson that I
Mhm.
learned, a valuable lesson for sure.
You have to excuse my ignorance.
Come on. No.
No, no.
Well, first of
Well,
all, say what you're going to say, and then we'll say, is it ignorant? I doubt it. I 100% doubt it. Come on.
what or how? What is a 10th degree black sash? How do you get there? I mean, what?
Um, the Chinese have a saying that you have to eat bitter, like bitter melon or bitter lemon or something,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that you will have to suffer.
Mm.
Uh, not just physically, which is an
Uh-huh.
obvious thing, but
Right, right, right.
you're gonna, the thing is with physical pain is that it hurts like bloody hell, but it eventually will go away.
Right, right.
Yeah. So it's not just the physical pain or physical manifestation, but it's mental,
Mental.
and that is way, I think, a lot more harder. So it takes years and years and years. So, for example, to get, let's say, what I consider a first degree black belt or black sash, depending on the martial art you study, on average, it should take about 10, 11, 12 years. Now, we look at the way belts are handed out today and for many, many years, even when I was, you get these kids or students who've been studying 2, 3, 4 years and they've been given a black belt, which is just the most asinine and insane thing ever. So, and I look at a black belt or the first grade black belt as really an advanced beginner.
Oh,
so they've learned all this set of techniques, forms, katas, whatever you want to, self-defense, and they have it kind of in their muscle memory, and they're able to perform it well. But now you've just kind of scathing the surface. Now the real work happens, beyond if you stick with it long enough. And are kind of steadfast and tenacious and disciplined to keep going. I've found in my experience that many students, when they get that black belt, they kind of stop, they kind of quit. Yeah.
Gotcha.
The reasoning of me being 10th degree and you can't go higher, it really comes because in my family's martial arts style, it was given to me because my uncle died. Yeah. It wasn't like a test or, you got to go on and scale the Everest or. Right. It's, and in Chinese martial arts, traditionally, they are passed down from one generation to the next generation. So, as in my Ling Ga or Ling family's martial art. Yeah, my uncle died, who I studied with from a very young age. He died, so I'm the next in succession.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But the thing is, that can sound great, but if I don't live up to what my uncle taught and the level of skill he had, it's then I don't deserve that or warrant that title at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because everything I see out there says world class. I was like, wow, my man he's world class. That's so deep, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, maybe one day when I grow up, I'll.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's my kind of standard saying these days. Yeah, when I figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Right, exactly.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've what I really want to study Tai Chi.
Ah, it's great. Yeah,
that's what I've been hearing, and but I don't want. I see these guys. I'm sorry, but I see these guys up on the internet, man, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you too can learn Tai Chi, just for $39 a month."
Dear.
Online, and like
Al, it hasn't changed since our time when forgive I'm using his name, David Carradine, who I did know quite, when he was promoting his Tai Chi on videos, right? I mean, it hasn't changed. It's so much. It's even easier now because you don't have to pay some television station that I'm putting on or promoting this infomercial or whatever you might say. Everybody can do it today for free. So there you go.
Yeah. So no, I'm definitely interested in. I was just talking to a few people and doing some reading, and I feel like at this stage in my life, I should have started years ago. But I mean,
never too late though.
Okay.
Never too late.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
When I go in, my friend, my friend Vincent said it's never too late.
No way.
Yeah. I definitely, I want to do it though.
And Tai Chi is one of those arts that's an internal art that builds the body internally stronger, not this physical thing, that we're so like. our head gets so swelled, especially when we're young. I've got to make myself strong. I've got to look cool.
Right.
The whole kind of Bruce Lee image thing,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
but look, you start to realize that, okay, at this point, I can't do the things that I did when I was 30. So
Exactly.
you have to take the ego equation out of it and realize that if I want to do this for, let's say, as long as my uncle did, then if I don't study Tai Chi and internal arts, then my body is going to be shot really quick. So, one has to study external when they're young, of course, but eventually you realize that the internal is way more important.
Oh, truly.
Yeah.
Truly. Do you still have that dojo in, I think it was in Springdale or something like that?
No, I had one on no, not anymore. I had as I said, when I returned from Hong Kong, I opened it on Hope Street first. And then I had the building on Bridge Street in Ridgeway for a long time. Yeah, up until, even when I'd moved to Manhattan, I still had that school there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it closed, let's see, 2012, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Marion Meadows, and you're listening to and watching In the Black of My Mind podcast.
I see that you are the founder and CEO of We Can Save Children.
Correct.
What is the organization all about?
I started it in January of 2015, so 11 years ago. Its main initiative is to rescue, recover children who are caught in conflict countries, basically war zones. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I saw a little clip. I think you were in Ukraine, and it's like it was just kind of looking at the video that you had posted. It was tragic, man. Just the way these people have just blown away folks, and it's like a genocide and stuff.
Oh, of course.
It makes no sense.
Well, none of that makes any sense.
Yeah. Wow. Now, where's the organization located? Is it?
Well, it started, of course, because I had moved to Manhattan basically a year after 9/11 happened. I had started a security company called Proforce, and which basically dealt with VIP families in New York, and then doing close protection for families abroad, which I did quite a number of times. And I still had this security company up until, well, actually, I'm still doing it even today, but the foundation actually started because I was doing close protection in West Africa, specifically in Ghana, and then we traveled to Tanzania and Kenya. And it was because of doing close protection that we visited a shelter in Ghana where children had been rescued from child slavery off of Lake Volta. So it was eye-opening. I had never witnessed anything like this before, and I kind of, as most people know, my entire life changed on a dime.
Wow.
And I wanted to find a way how I could get involved in this type of kind of work. And so I've been doing it at great lengths for the past 11 years.
Okay.
And
wow.
put myself in some of the most dangerous places on earth. And I've been, shot at a number of times. And so, some very harrowing experiences. And all over the place, all over central, sub-Saharan, tropical sub-Saharan Africa, from Ghana to Sudan, to South Sudan, to Uganda, and throughout Southeast Asia, from Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, and of course, Ukraine, of course, since the invasion, and then the past 5 years spent a lot of time throughout the Middle East. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, God bless you, man. I applaud you in your efforts, because I was looking, I said, man, is this something that I could do? Yeah, I don't think so, man.
Okay. And that's, Al, it's interesting you bring that up and you say that very thoughtfully and honestly. Yeah, it's not something that most people could do. Not because it might be, well, some will say because they have fear, they're scared, and because of that, that would put them in a situation where harm could come to themselves, or harm could come to others that they're working with. But it's just, I think it's more so than the fear factor, as in, I think most people, and this has come from doing this work for a decade, that most are not wired to witness these types of things. And I'm not saying it's messed me up. I've had post-traumatic stress disorder. I've had to speak to, a good psychotherapist sometimes of some of the things I witnessed and personally experienced. So, and one finds themselves having to step away from a certain situation, and kind of reevaluate how to move forward, or if one wants to move forward, or if one is ready to move forward. So, yeah, that's happened. But the thing is, I've come to realize when I start to falter, and I know myself very well. So if I notice that it's starting to affect me on a mental level or a psychological level, I know I need to step away from it and kind of just recoup.
Okay.
Otherwise, then I'm no good to anybody.
Oh, so, no, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I spent 3 years in the military, and I was over in Korea in the DMZ.
Okay.
But, when I was there was, there's always been small scale fighting going on, but it's nothing like, what's going on in some of these other places and stuff. And so from my experience of being up there in the DMZ and just, it's kind of interesting because when I went over there, I was only 18 years old, man. I went into the Army 9 days after I graduated high school. And so when so I go in June 22nd. I go in around November 20th. I'm in the DMZ.
Right.
So it was kind of frightening at first when you first get over there, because I didn't know what to expect. And then when I, and there, as I said, there was small scale fighting going on over there. So there was, some skirmishes. I was there when they shot one of our helicopters down, and we brought the bodies back across the line. And so I thought right then that that's where it was gonna happen, because they said if the proverbial stuff hits the fan, that life expectancy is like 8 seconds or something like that.
Right.
So I thought that it was going to jump off then, but when it didn't, and I made it back home, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going back over there.
You're not going back there. Yeah. No need to do that. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, to see you guys going into places that are, just totally devastated, man, that takes that takes a special anointing, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, good way of putting it. I got to remember that one. I might write an article about that.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
The anointed one.
Yeah. For real.
Oh boy.
I see you've also written a book.
Well, I've written a few, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, a few. The first one came out in 2012 on my family's martial arts style.
Okay.
And then, when COVID hit and we were all kind of caught indoors with our pants down,
Stuck.
I made use of the time. I had left New York City, and my fiance and I had moved down to Florida, or Fort Lauderdale, where my father was living.
Hmm.
And so I thought it was a good time just to be out of New York and the madness, because of course
Right.
New York City got hit,
Oh yeah.
really badly.
Yeah.
And so Florida was one of those how should we put it? One of those forward-thinking states. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, where no one wants to wear a mask and this,
Right. Right.
you know
Right. Right.
how.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I made use of the time, and I wrote two books both on my basically humanitarian work.
Hmm.
One called Childhood Lost, and the follow-up was called Generation Hope.
Okay.
Um, and they're very, oh my goodness, as the publisher said, this is the most depressing stuff I've ever heard. You know,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. I'm
and,
sure.
and the
I'm
thing
sure.
is, and you're releasing it during COVID. Nobody's going to buy this. It's already depressing enough. Nobody
Yeah.
wants
Right.
to read anything more depressing. And I was like, I don't care. This is I need to. It was very cathartic for me,
Mm-hmm.
because that was a very surreal, depressing, kind of anxious time, right? So for me to kind of just put myself and write about many of the things that I've done, it was very cathartic, very therapeutic. So, but I think you're talking about the book that, and then of course I wrote one with another one that came out after COVID, maybe 2 years, no, year and a half ago, called Why Peace is Unattainable, and more from a kind of geopolitical historical standpoint.
Mm.
But the book that's really kind of most important to me is a memoir that's going to be published by a European publisher in a couple of months from now, called Scars the World Can't See.
Right. Okay.
And so, yeah, from spring through summer, I'll be on a 7-city European book tour.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so I'm really, really excited. It's probably, I believe, some of the best, if not the best writing that I've ever done. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it to come out.
Mm.
Yeah,
And now this is a memoir.
it's a memoir, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So
It
I
is time, and
it,
I've been writing this I tell you, for 20 years,
really.
and yeah. And when I was in my 40s, I thought, no, I don't have enough life experience, and I was right. And then, of course, hitting 50, I said, no, it's still not the right time, and it definitely wouldn't have been, because I didn't start what I believe is kind of the most important part of the memoir, which
Mm.
takes up at least half of it, is about the humanitarian work that I do.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Hi, this is Bernard Jackson from the group Surface, and you're watching the podcast In the Black of My Mind with my brother. We call him Bucky. You know him as Al Thomas.
I got some rapid fire questions.
Oh boy, go ahead, fire
Uh,
away.
who are your musical influences?
Okay, classical, Chopin,
Hmm.
Rachmaninoff, Beethoven. Jazz, Errol Garner, Oscar Peterson, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea. Um, if we want to go into kind of pop R&B feel, I would say, geez, Earth, Wind and Fire has to be like number
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I would say Prince. I would say the Beatles. Um, yeah, and there are others, of course. Michael Jackson, I would have to put him on the list. Yeah.
Mm.
Even Elvis Presley, and probably John Lennon. Yeah. Next question.
All right. Who are your martial arts influences?
Well, of course, Bruce Lee.
Mm.
Of course, my uncle. Without him, none of this would be possible. But
Right.
Bruce Lee, of course. Jackie Chan, of course.
Mm. Well, it's interesting. You said Bruce Lee, of course, but there's a lot of people that don't, for some reason or another, are just really hating on Bruce Lee and like, oh, he wasn't really all that good, and he.
But you know what? I love this. I just love it. How so many, even some of the ones who actually worked with him, and then of course they found out the hard way, because he never put down a challenge. That's the interesting thing about him.
Right.
But the interesting, for the people that did work with him, who were iconic themselves, right?
Mhm.
Or Jackie Chan was a stuntman for Bruce Lee. He
Oh, okay.
Sammo Hung, he's considered one of the great, not only martial artists but action directors. People who actually worked alongside Bruce Lee and really felt his skill, speed, and power. So it's easy to say from many decades later, he wasn't that good. He was only a film star. He never really fought, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I've heard this so many times. It's like, oh, please give up already. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah. So of course, Bruce Lee, and of course, Jackie Chan was very influential. And this was way before I actually met him and got to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Next question.
What are your hobbies? I could probably answer this one.
Yeah, you already know the ones. It's
No,
hobbies.
you can't even say music is a hobby
No,
because
it's not a hobby. It's
you know what I mean?
part of my life. And martial arts is not a
Yeah,
hobby either.
exactly. So I was going to say he doesn't have any. He doesn't have time for a hobby and stuff at this juncture.
But it's not it's become way more than a hobby at this point. It is writing.
Oh,
I
wow.
was terrible at writing essays when I was young. Oh God, it was the most difficult and hardest thing. But some very close friends of mine who are what I call professional lifetime writers, people who have written 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 books in their career, the advice was simply write every day. No matter what it is, write about, you look outside and the sky is gray, start writing about it. Just keep writing. But that's, and that sounds so silly, but if you want to be good at anything,
right,
you got to do it every day.
Every day.
So so it's become I guess it's a hobby because it's not, I don't consider myself a lifetime professional author, but yeah, I do believe that the writing that I'm doing these days is affecting people in a positive way. Yeah.
What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
Beyond, I feel it's necessary to give back, but changing the life of a child. Yeah.
Wow.
I probably could add, but I think seeing a smile on a child's face, changing hopefully their future. And I say that not just because of children that I might have rescued from conflict who've lost not only their home, many have lost their parents and their siblings, and now they're cold in this world alone.
Right.
But even just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was giving a lecture here at a school, and I've been speaking with thousands and thousands of students from middle school, high school, university, beyond not lecturing, but beyond speaking at the UN and Parliament and so forth. But after this lecture I gave, this one young boy, 14 years old, he came up to me and he said, "Man, that is the coolest jacket you're wearing." And there's this jean jacket. It was kind of very cool. And has some kind of writing on it and stuff, and a couple of cartoon-like characters on it. And he said, "Wow, that is so cool. What brand is it? Where did you get it from?" I said, "Oh, I got it in London." I said, he said, "Man, it's just the coolest thing I've ever seen." I said, "Well," I said, "Here, it's for you."
Wow.
So I
Nice.
took it off, and of course there were a lot of students around and teachers, and he thought his face went from, "Now you got to be kidding! This can't be real."
Right.
I said, "No, no, no." I said, "Put it on, put it on, put it over your, you know." So it was so, just to see his face was like to see pure joy,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
It's like, and then he wrote me this incredible note that I received from a teacher yesterday, saying how me coming to the school was, you know, this amazing experience, but me giving this personal piece of clothing that he said he will cherish for the rest of his life, and
Oh, I'm
you know,
sure.
he said it's a day he will never forget. You
Mm.
know, just for me, just to see his face, just yes, you can't, man, you can't put anything, you can't put all the gold and all the money in the world on something like that, and
Right.
it's a beautiful thing, you know, because
Right.
it's not only, yeah, it affected him, but it affected me too, and it affected everyone around, you know,
Mm.
that
Hmm.
was in that room. Yeah. So
Wow. Well, you're gonna
that's the answer to the question. I don't know.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
blessed as a result of it too.
Yeah.
So not that you aren't already, but
Okay. Well, I'm anointed, as you
yeah,
say.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. What's on your bucket list?
Oh my goodness. Boy. Well, before it used to be certain countries, but I've been to now 150. So if
Wow.
you know, I know there's a bunch left,
Hmm.
but if I don't visit another one, it doesn't matter to me. So I can't add those on my bucket list. Gosh, world peace. I know that's not possible, though it would be nice.
It would really be.
1 hour with my mother. God
Wow.
bless. God
Yeah,
rest her soul. But
yeah, yeah.
I give up everything in my life just to spend an hour having a conversation with my mom, but I can't get that.
Right.
So,
That's how I feel about my dad right
oh
now.
man, Al, bucket list.
Mm.
Mm, no, you know, looking back at, it's interesting. Looking back at my life, I don't have any regrets at all. If anything, the regret, and I know this is not the question you asked, but if I look back, as you know, I think we could all say this. There's a few people I hurt along the way, that I wish who didn't deserve it, because they were really not talking in the past tense, because they still are
Hmm.
beautiful, good, warm-hearted, caring, loving people, you know. And yeah, if I could take that back, I would. But bucket list, I'm doing everything that I'm meant to do. So
Hmm.
if it allows me to do it more, that's my bucket list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Now you said you've been to like 150 countries. Where's
Mhm.
the coolest place you ever traveled to?
The coolest.
Yeah.
I haven't been asked it that way before. The coolest. Well, I love Hong Kong.
Mm.
I spent many years there, you
Okay.
know, during that kind of, but I went back a couple of years ago, and I hadn't been quite for like a decade, but I went 2 years ago, um, and it was for my son's wedding. So, and of course, I got to visit some of my old film colleagues and stuff. So it was just an incredible experience to go back after a while. It just to see the things that kind of changed my future in my life. So that
Hmm.
was, I would say, Hong Kong. mm, it's a really cool place.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
yeah, yeah.
So, I spent a year in Korea,
Mm,
and I've been to Tokyo.
Okay, and that is a really cool place. That's an amazing city too. Yeah, and I also love Seoul. I think Seoul is amazing.
Well, you know what? I've not been to Seoul in a long time, so
okay. And I did a film there too. You know,
nice.
So that's an incredible city as well.
Yeah. When I was I was in Seoul in 76, 77.
Oh wow.
That's last time.
Okay,
So,
yeah, the film I did there was in I think 1990. So it's a long time ago, but
right. Yeah, but it's a lot more recent than me. So
yeah, I love New York too. I mean, I lived in New York 20 years. But again, it's like some of these places, and New York is one of them. I love it. It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love going back. Would I live there again? I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, if when Trump disappears,
Right.
maybe not. Maybe we'll see what happens. Anything is possible. Yeah.
Right. Who is your hero?
I look at people like, there's not one. I look at people like Martin Luther King. I look at Gandhi.
Mm-hmm.
I look at both who I unfortunately never met. The Dalai Lama, who I did have an audience with.
Oh wow.
Yeah, those are heroes to me. And if you had asked me this question 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe I would have said, Bruce Lee or something like this. Yeah, with time, with life experience, those were iconic, heroic people who put everything on the line for the betterment of life and society and the planet and Earth, and us. Yeah. So,
and they put everything on the line for people that don't even like them.
That's it. That's the thing. That's what's so amazing, incredible about them. Yeah, and they paid dearly for it. They paid with their lives.
With their lives.
Yeah.
Wow. What is the most important decision you've made to date?
Oh goodness. I think there's probably a couple, and I've wrote about, obviously, one is about my family's legacy. Because it is a very influential family style of martial arts that's been around since the beginning of the Ming Dynasty, which was in 1368.
Wow.
So keeping that history and recording the history, writing about it, publishing articles, a book about it, that's been really important to me. Yeah. So, and I think it was kind of something that I felt that I have to do. I think inspiring the next generation. I'm always asked the question. I was just asked it again at a lecture I gave a few days ago. How can I make a difference? I'm in this little town in the middle of Portugal. Nobody's ever heard of it. What can I do? And so for me to inspire them to think outside of the box, I said, look, you're 15, 16 years old. Right. Nobody is expecting greatness from you. I said, but if you just get together with some of your like-minded friends and take a walk around the town, speak to people, speak to older people, see what needs fixing. How can you change your own small community? Start with that. And if you can do that, it might lead to other things, and it might not. But if you at least can start and help in your own community, then you're doing way more than most.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think for me, it has become a case of inspiring the next generation. Yeah. And if I can do that, if I can just lay,
Excuse me.
a small candle on them to do something that they haven't thought about, then I've done my job. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Now you talked about your uncle. What type of man was he?
This is my father's older brother.
Uh-huh.
My father had two older brothers that studied martial arts. One was an instructor, a guerrilla fighter in the Chinese Imperial Army when they fought against Japan, when Japan invaded China.
Hmm.
But that's not the uncle I'm talking about. It's a Bach who was actually a grandmaster of internal martial arts in Tai Chi.
Mhm.
So just to kind of, he had a great sense of humor. He was a wanderer, kind of like me, because we originate from what are called Hakka Chinese, and Hakka Chinese, Hakka, are actually what is considered the wanderer tribe. And he was that. He traveled late in his life. He traveled all over the world. We have family pretty much on every continent. So he would just kind of go around visiting all these families that he was close to.
Okay.
And I remember it was one winter he was visiting us in Stamford, Connecticut. And it was freezing out, snow on the ground, frost on the window. And he would get up, no matter what the weather, with his kind of white T-shirt on, and go outside, where most people are bundled up with Arctic gear on.
Right.
And my father comes waltzing in at 5 a.m. And what, 15, 16-year-old is going to be up at 5 a.m. No, no. Not when you have a holiday.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, right.
You're going to be sleeping until 1 p.m. So he comes in and he, moving me, get up, go outside, practice with your uncle. So like, fall back to sleep, comes in again 10 minutes later, get up, I'm not going to tell you again. So I kind of like, clearing the mist and gook out of my eyes. And I'm like, I go like this against the window, and of course frost on the window. And I'm like, I look out, I'm peering out the window, and there's my uncle standing with his hands up and standing with one leg poised, in this crane stand. I'm like, and he's got the white T-shirt on, right?
Mm.
And snow's falling and it's freezing. So of course I fall back to sleep.
Oh no.
I'm like, I ain't going up there. And my father, oh boy, he comes in and he throws water in my face. So now I'm really up,
Yeah.
and angry and upset. And I go back, and of course the frost is now formed back on the window, and I rub the frost again, and I'm looking, and he's still standing in the same position. So this is like 10, 15 minutes later, and I'm thinking maybe he's frozen. He's just stuck there frozen in place. So I bundle up, which takes me another 10 minutes to put all the gear on. The boots and the winter socks and the undergarments and the overgarments and the hat and the gloves, and I'm going out there, and he's still standing in the same position. And I'm like, oh my
wow.
God. And of course at that time I'm thinking, what is this? This is, because of course that time was Bruce Lee just came on the scene, and I'm thinking, I know Bruce Lee doesn't do this. Yeah. So, looking back, I wish at that age I had taken what he was doing much more seriously. And because I was too young, and of course, and not knowledgeable enough to understand the depth of what he was teaching, what he was practicing, because I saw Bruce Lee on the big screen doing this fast screaming and yelling, and I thought, oh man, that's it. That's what martial arts is all about. Little did I know. It's taken me a lifetime to realize that what my uncle was doing was leaps and bounds beyond what Bruce Lee was doing on the screen in terms of, a lifetime of health and benefit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I ask everybody that comes on here,
You know
regardless.
what this reminds me of?
What's that?
And you probably remember his name, but I loved watching his shows. He was he interviewed all the most famous actors. God, what was his name? He had an incredible show, and he would always ask these questions at the end of his interview. These short questions, and I think the last question he would always ask is, okay, so if you were you have one question is, and if you were at the pearly gates and God asks you, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Many people who might be listening to this will know exactly who I'm talking about, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, it feels like I'm in a kind of a similar type of sphere here. But go on, I'm sorry.
Well, I ask everybody, that, regardless of what they're into, what's their favorite song? And not anything that you wrote.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't put those.
Yes.
No.
That's like, which one is your favorite child?
Favorite song? I have to go to Imagine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to break it down to genres.
Okay.
Because I couldn't, I'm all over the place, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Gosh, I mean, we're talking unlimited millennia of music. I mean, it just, I mean, goodness gracious. So,
all right, jazz.
You're really pushing it. Flamenco Sketches by Miles Davis.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice. Mine is Night in Tunisia. Dizzy
Gillespie. Dizzy Gillespie. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're on the same kind of same period of jazz.
Right. Yeah. Who's your favorite artist? Musical artist?
Of any genre?
Of any genre.
Oh gosh, Al, why are you doing this? Man, that's any artist. Okay, so it's not a group, but a person.
A person.
Chopin, classical, Michael Jackson.
Okay. Okay. And then the last of the quick hitters. Tell me your life story in one sentence.
Three words. Passion and purpose.
Nice. Nice. Man, you have no idea how much I have enjoyed this, man, and I'm so glad you agreed to do it, man.
Thank you.
How can people contact you on social media?
Oh goodness, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. I mean, it's all there. It's pretty easy. Yeah, I'm writing a lot on Substack as well now. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram. I don't do TikTok. No thanks. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard enough to keep up with Facebook and Instagram, But yeah, but the youth who I speak to a lot, their Instagram is then not. Facebook is our generation, right?
Right.
So yeah, got to do both.
I'm still mad because because my MySpace page doesn't work anymore.
Oh God, the thing is, you talk about MySpace. For the life of me, I'm baffled that LinkedIn has survived as long as it has.
Oh yeah,
that's and true. I used to be, but I'm no longer on LinkedIn. No, I can't. No, thanks.
Yeah, well, I have a page on each one of those, but it's difficult trying to keep up.
I'm trying to. Who is this? See if I can find. Ah, his name is James Lipton.
James. Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I had to look it up because I thought,
Yeah.
no, I can't. Like, this is great because I used to love watching that show, and I felt like, okay, Al is kind of going in that direction, and it's one of my favorite interviewers of all time, especially interviewing because he interviewed so many great, iconic actors. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt. It's I'm trying to think. What do you remember the name of the is that
Of
the
of the
actors?
show. What was it
Which one is-
called? It was what was the name of that show? But I don't remember. But anyway.
Because I'm trying to remember if that was the one that I saw.
Oh, it was it the Actor Studio?
Yes.
I
saw Dave Chappelle on there.
yes.
And that was a
Yeah.
really good one. Yeah, but I mean, I've seen quite a few of them myself. Yeah. Well, I never did. Wow.
Well, yeah, because when you started throwing those like one-liner questions at me, I'm like, oh boy, and some of them are not easy to answer. You know, one has to really like dig deep.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I didn't share for the audience. I didn't share any of the questions with Vincent.
No, and the thing is, I always like being stumped. It's very rare that it happens, but it happened today, so I'm glad about that.
No, man, please. But I appreciate you more than you know, man.
No,
and,
thank you.
So and then but we're back connected now, so I got to make sure that I
Please
stay in contact and see what's good. And if I see you around anywhere, I'm gonna definitely make sure that I get through to check you out and stuff.
Okay,
man.
that sounds great.
Maybe I can coax you into playing on my next project and stuff.
Okay, that sounds good. Are you still living in Stamford?
No, I live in West Haven. I've been
West
here.
Haven. Okay.
Yeah, I've been here for a long time. When 84. Yeah, since 84. So
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah, man. All right.
Well, pleasure, man.
No,
Thank you.
pleasure's all mine.
No, thank you.
Yeah. This has been another episode of In the Black of My Mind podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next week, y'all be blessed.